Alright, all you YouTubers, I'm back with the starter. This is the second video to the starter that I put on top of that crankshaft position sensor that I showed you earlier. That's the bolt I used for the top bolt there when I showed you earlier in the earlier video. Just put the bolt back there, like so. Got a washer on there, the bolt all the way through, and put a nut on the end of it. And just tighten it up, and of course the bottom one stayed the same. That's right down there. This bolt's a 15mm bolt. The top one that I used up here is a 14mm. Just needed to do that for the whole purpose as far as getting the bolt through the hole that I drilled out. Not sure what the torque spec is on these. You may want to look that up to get the proper torque spec. So now what I'm going to do is get everything back together. Put the air intake manifold back on. All my wiring. Here's all my wires that go down here. All different connectors that I had to disconnect. Pull this up. Get my air intake back in place. Of course, this one's different. I got a cold air intake on this one. Normal vehicles would have a regular air intake. This one has somebody had already put a cold air intake on this. So I'm going to stop the video now. Go ahead and put everything back together. But that is where the crankshaft position sensor is located on the 2004 Dodge Neon 2.0 liter engine. And like I said, easiest way to get to it is through the bottom. But if you can't do it, you're going to take that starter off and get to it through the top. And you may not have to take the intake manifold off. I just did it for easier access. You may be able to remove it with the intake manifold, in place. And you get to the top bolt, of course, right on top of here, of course. And then at the bottom, you just have to go underneath the car and get to the bottom one. Also, there's a bracket right here. This bracket I loosened up. I needed to get the old crankshaft position sensor out. So this bracket right here, there's a bolt down here. It's an 18mm bolt. I'll tighten that back up. That'll go back into place because when I get this air intake back in, the air intake actually bolts to these brackets at the bottom. Got two brackets, bracket here and a bracket over here. So I'm going to do that now.